Yo, man.
Another damn episode, y'all.
Go ahead, man.
Mm. Bring us in, bring us in.
Yo, man. Welcome. Yo, welcome to Plug Talk. Know what I mean? You got your host, D Marachi.
Got I be the lifeline here. Well, to our community, I want y'all to notice something. Rocky ain't got no wallabies yet, y'all.
Nah, I didn't get the Wallabies yet, man. I've been hesitating on getting them. I know I gotta get them though. I gotta be a man of my word, but I'm like, dang, man. Yo, I can't really see myself. I can't really see myself buying, actually investing in that, man.
Man, you tripping, bro. And it's a comfortable shoe. You gonna be watching wallabies for the rest of the fall once you get them, man. Go
Never.
ahead and get that first pair, man. Trust me, man. You put the motherfuckers on your feet, you'll be like, man, these not bad, bro.
Nah, man.
Um,
But
all
I'm
right.
gonna buy a pair. I'm gonna buy a pair. I'm gonna buy a good pair. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna come cheap. You know what I mean? Like I said, I lost the bet. Look at IV, the lifeline, man. Look at them shades. Look at them shades. This is what money does to you and moving out to Cali. This is what it do to you. Y'all ain't never seen them dressed up like this.
First off, I'm not really dressed up. I'm wearing me and my brother's real estate company. You know what I'm saying? CMG. You know what I mean? But it's a t-shirt.
What CMG stand for?
It's actually my brother's initials.
Okay.
Clarence, his middle name, and then Gooden, his last name. but yeah, that's what I do some of my thing with when it comes to moving these mobile homes. So, I'm on my entrepreneur shit all week. So I'll probably either be wearing our shit or somebody else who has a company right now in their marketing just showing support like entrepreneur week. So I'm just showing support to some people that support me. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
rather us. And you can show your support by getting the damn wallabies, bro. First step for you.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Now I'm gonna do it on. Within 2 weeks' time, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna bring it on here. Y'all gonna see the pair, and I'm gonna rock them an episode. And I'm gonna put them on the Instagram page and me with them.
Y'all hear this, right? Y'all hear this, right?
2 weeks. Within
Today's
two
date.
weeks' time, and I'm gonna put it on Instagram. So if y'all want to see a picture of me on Instagram with Wallabies, that'll be the one and only pic. Y'all see me in Wallabies. So y'all can say I rocked them. Yo, it'll be on Instagram, man.
All right, y'all heard this. Y'all heard this. We gonna hold him to it, y'all. We gonna hold him to it.
What you been up to, Ivy? Yo, you been doing your rounds, man. Let them know what you've been doing.
Shout out to VR Novels, Dash Mash, Candace Vaughn, the Pussy Mob, who else? Stick Overload. She got the Buns and Basketball League. So we had a little event this weekend. The AVN Awards were this weekend. Other than the party and having a good time, man, there was a lot of business that got done. People merging and trying to basically, get each other to these next levels. So I just been networking, man. Networking's been crazy this last weekend, man. This is a busy weekend for sure. You
Yo,
know what I
but
mean? But
even before that, you was out. You went to the Crawford and Spence fight, right?
yeah, Vegas was lit too, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did that for sure. The fight was electric. I hate to see Spence get whoop like that, but I lost $a few on that ticket too, man. You gotta reimburse me if I ever see you, Sam. Or it's gonna be another ass whooping like that, bro. You can promise that.
You going to see whatchamacallit, Canelo and Charlo?
Hell nah.
No?
I definitely won't. Nah, I'm not. It's football season. I'm gonna go catch a couple football games, man. I'm gonna catch the big ones when they come out here to Arizona. Go to that. You know, but I'm definitely I'm not I don't like neither one of them, bro, to be honest with you. So I doubt if I take the time to go to that fight. I definitely won't.
Even if they gave it to you for free? See?
Gotta be debatable. That would be debatable. I would think about it for sure. I would think about it.
You think about it. Crawford said he would fight Canelo at a catch weight. What you think?
I think he'd get Canelo the business too.
Yo, my boy said that too. My boy said he got a chance.
Yeah, for sure he do. For sure he do. But Crawford is a lot better than I thought, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And then, especially seeing him in person, how fast he really was, man. Like, I don't see. It'll be hard to beat him. I don't care who you are right now. And what weight you fighting at, he's gonna be hard to beat, bro. You don't make it to 40-0 and be no joke, bro. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. Hey,
yeah, that's not.
He made Spence look easy, man.
I don't think Spence was the same after that car accident, though. I don't care if he won the fight or lost the fight. And I remember it was round 2. I'm looking like, what the fuck? Like, I thought I had just stared at a light in the arena too long or something, but he started turning like cherry red. And I'm like, bro, you don't really see too many fighters like face be red like that, man. And I guess that's from the reconstructive surgery of getting thrown 100 miles per hour. I don't think it's safe for him to continue boxing, bro. Honestly, I think he needs to take what he's got from the game already and just remain functionable. At least mentally and facial structure wise, he's been through a lot, man. And I think he needs to go ahead and hang it up, man. Most people don't survive getting thrown out of a car at 100 miles per hour, bro. Let alone survive it and come back to play a high level sport at the same competitive level that you were before that incident. That's unrealistic, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not making no excuses for him getting his ass whooped, but he didn't look the same. No, it's not taking nothing away from Crawford, though. Crawford literally beat his ass and looked immaculate doing it, bro.
Yeah. I don't think he should retire. I think he got one loss. Now, I would want him to have the rematch, let him take him on, and then after that, if he lose the rematch, then I will retire.
And he may not, like I said, because of the surgeries and everything, the skin they had to move around, the reconstructing of his face. I just think that he shouldn't fight no more, bro. His body's not intact the way it's supposed to be normally, and I don't think you get any more of a physical sport than boxing, maybe UFC, and then maybe second comparable to football. But it's some things, man, once you go through something like that, you just need to stay away from. It's too abusive. He's going to get hit in his face no matter what, and your face has had surgery on it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know what type of minute damage that could possibly cause. Keep taking that type of abuse. Like I said, man, yeah, throwing out of a car at 100 miles per hour, I don't know what that feels like, but I'm gonna tell you this, man. Getting in a car accident at 40 or 50 is some fucked up shit. So, dude survived some shit most people never do.
Yeah. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta commend him for that. Gotta commend him, man. So yeah, man. What I would say, yeah, we got some stuff in store for y'all. We got the merch. It's coming out.
That shit nice too, y'all. That shit nice.
Yeah, no rinky dink stuff. We got the hats. They coming out. We got the shirts. We got the shorts. We're gonna have the sweatsuits coming out soon for the fall. So yo, support a brother, man, or support brothers out here. Know what I mean? Look good. Get plugged in.
Get plugged in.
Get your color scheme on. You could be cripping, you could be blooding. You know what I mean?
Why you gotta go there, man? Y'all East Coast cats, bro.
Know what I mean? Or you want to go to the gym? You want to look nice, ladies?
Just get your favorite colors, man. And when they ask you what you got on, tell them, "Oh, you ain't plugged in." Plug talk. You dig? Get into this shit, Basati.
All right, man. Before we get in, like, comment, subscribe, man. Yo, light up that comment section and hit that like button. And if you new here, hit that subscribe button, man. Like, that's very important. Yo, we getting up there. We trying to reach 1,000 by beginning of September. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. We giving y'all the hottest content, man. Yo, we the flyest dudes on here covering these topics. Yo, show us some love, man.
Real talk. 100% agreement with you there, man. Right. What we gonna do tonight, man?
Yo, what we doing tonight, man? I think that the Breakfast Club, they're on the decline, and I think their run is about to end when it comes to shows that we watch as far as within our community, as far as radio. I think it's about to come to an end. Their time is over. I think Angela Yee abandoned ship because she seen the ship sinking. So she was out.
I know it was some other issues tied to that, but it do seem like a different show now that she's gone. And I thought she was the weakest link on the show, but it seemed like she carried a level of maturity and was good enough at her question asking. She brought a way bigger balance to Breakfast Club than I think any of us really recognize. Because they look very elementary now. Very elementary, very immature, and very amateurish. Especially from the little bit of this shit that you sent that I seen, it was terrible, dog. I ain't gonna lie, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, man. And then they got this whole thing. I guess they bring in a new guest every week or whatever the case may be, and then they'll have people that come on there that log in on Zoom or what is it, Skype? My fault, it's Skype. They'll come in, log on, and they'll ask these guest questions. I don't know. That format is not working for them. That rotating guests, having guests on Zoom, asking other guests questions. And it's like, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, the one chick that keeps popping up all the time is just not working for me at all, bro. She's very confrontational and very she's not good at interacting with people. I'm seeing when it comes to knowing how to ask a question and when to ask a question. She's terrible at it. and she shows a lot of attitude, and it's always like it seems like every time that she's involved in talking on there, she's in a confrontation or doing something that makes someone feel uncomfortable. And that shit's whack as fuck, man. She's terrible. She's terrible.
I mean, but that's nothing different than what we used to deal with where we came from. They would just come in. People would come in your live. I'm gonna say this. People would come in your live and intentionally start trouble with you. Intentionally. You know that, right?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm in control of what I'm gonna allow and what I'm not gonna allow on live stream. And now imagine going somewhere where these people are intentionally starting shit, but it's their platform. And in this situation, it's the Breakfast Club, so it's their platform. So the disturbing motherfucker has the control. That's chaos.
Yeah.
And they've had two presidential candidates. We've covered both of them. We're covering this one today. And we didn't get nothing out of it. Like they didn't press the right questions. They didn't ask in depth about the issues that they were trying to campaign for, to where you felt like you got anything out of this interview. And it's an hour long. I didn't get nothing out of it. I know less about dude than I did coming in.
Right. All right. So yeah, that brings us to the topic of the discussion for today, for this episode. We have Larry Elder, a Republican candidate. He decided to come on to the Breakfast Club to basically share his viewpoints and basically his stance when it comes to certain things. So I'm gonna play the video, let y'all get into it. And you know how we do over here on Plug Talk. We gonna get into it and we gonna break it down. And we do it with no filter, man. Let's get into this.
I hope you got better at your button pushing, man. You've been terrible the last few episodes.
We'll see. All right.
Let's jump right into it. Why are you running for president?
Well, I'm running as an America First mega guy, and we have an America First mega guy running, obviously. So the question is, what do you bring to the table?
You say MAGA.
MAGA.
Okay.
And the answer is, I bring a lot of issues to the table that I feel our side is not talking enough about, if at all. For example, the number one social problem in America, by far, is the epidemic not of COVID, but of fatherlessness.
All right, let's stop there. So he said that he feels the number one number one social issue is fatherless homes. What you think about that?
If I'm not mistaken, before our first channel got terminated, wasn't that our first show? Didn't we talk about that on the first show we ever did on the Ivy League?
Right. Yep. Yeah, we did. Very first episode.
Yeah, I feel like you're absolutely correct, man. It's sad to say, but that's the biggest problem in our community right now. It's not even close.
From your viewpoint, why do you think that that's the number one issue?
Everything starts with a structure. I don't care if you're building a building. I don't care if you're building a brand. I don't care what you're doing. Everything starts with a structure. So if you do not have a family structure, not a dysfunctional family structure, but a family structure starting at your core, your home base, it leads to what we're seeing now today. We've seen these numbers increase over the past 40 years of single-parent households. We've seen this shit rise from 30% to 70% since 1990. And then you look at where our society is today, bro. That, to me, plays the biggest problem of why when we don't have a sense of community anymore without those men there. There's no structure. anymore in our community. So that has to be the biggest problem that we have, because not only is that structure destroyed in the home, but it's also destroyed in our community now. There's no leadership. There's no sense of a mentor. There's no respect between the generations anymore.
Right. If you take away a leader, then you just have a whole bunch of workers at the end of the day, and you're not able to delegate and be able to tell what goes on within that particular confines or structure. And then you have the provider as well. The provider, which is someone financial, the one that's provider of the knowledge, provider of just essential things that a family needs. And when you take that man out, you're taking away that provider aspect. And then the
even there, because there was time periods where the economy haven't been doing well as a country, but even when the economies for us were way worse than this, and we had higher poverty rates, just having that two-parent structured household, whether how well the father provides or not, you know, they could have been eating one meal a day, still had discipline and still had structure in it. And that's something money can't provide, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just having that structure and that discipline there is what we're missing. But money doesn't change it. It just makes the good things better and the bad things worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that provider is all money. I'm just saying that's an aspect of it. Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it like you provider, yes, it's financial, but provider is also knowledge as well too. And like, yeah, that's what it is. It's like it's knowledge as well too. You're providing, you're giving information. That's what you're doing as far as like when you're
I'm spot on with him. I'm spot on with him though. Like as far as right now, 2023, I think it definitely needs to be addressed. I would love to know what the solutions are. You know what I'm saying? What do we think needs to be done? But I'm 100% with him. 100% right there. At least for that part, for sure.
All right.
Let's
play.
70% of Black kids today enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother, up from 25% back in 1965. Now 25% of white kids enter the world today without a father in the home, married to the mother. And the stats are clear. Even Barack Obama once cited them. If you're raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. What's happened? In the mid-60s, with I think the best of intentions, a Democrat named Lyndon Johnson launched what he called the War on Poverty. And since then, we have incentivized women to marry the government and incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. You know, when I say this to people.
Good morning. I think that we also covered that, I think, in the first and second episode on the D.I.V. So far, bro, these are things that even when we talked about them and discussed them, we got backlash from. And I'm gonna be brutally honest. We got, we probably don't have those statistics no more, or can't go back to see any of the comments that were said. But I'm gonna be honest, man. A lot of our pushback was with the ladies, and basically what he said was, with y'all being incentivized to marry the system, he's absolutely right. Now, that shouldn't be taken as a smack to the face. It shouldn't be taken as anything that's disrespectful. We're talking about something that we can state and statistically show and prove, and how relevant it is today, that is a part of the problem. Not saying somebody is a problem, but that's a part of the problem. The same way when we have to address what's going on with the men, we shooting and killing each other at a rate that's just crazy right now. So that's showing the flaws of us. It's not saying the men are terrible people, but we got some fucking work to do.
Right.
But he hit the nail on the head, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. And like how the government assistant works is like a man has to be in there, and then a woman has to be on the system, and they take the money from the man. So they benefit from the woman because the woman is the one that's going to need the assistance. And these programs are saying that, yo, you don't need a man. We'll basically help you out if things get tough. And a lot of these women, the system, in my opinion, enables them to stay on the system. You have some women that say, like, yo, I'm not gonna work more than 20 hours just so they can keep getting government assistance. That's how low it goes. I'm not saying all women, but I've seen it get that low.
I guess lower, but you know, yeah, I just don't see any good that comes from government assistance for real. I don't see how that could ever be a help to a long-term problem.
Yeah, because people they don't want to work. They want to just live off of the assistance. Assistance is only supposed to be an aid that you're supposed to use for a temporary amount of time until you're able to get back to the level standing or on a platform. Not something to where it's going to carry you along the way for the rest of your life. It's like someone being on crutches their whole life when they have the capability of rehabbing whatever injury they have so they can get back to health. It's just supposed to help you for a little bit. But
I think there could have been a period of time to where it actually could have been that type of assistance. But with the rates of inflation and how much since they started these programs, the cost of living has went up in majority all the states in the country. There's no way that can be a stepping stone for you. It's not enough assistance for real, especially not in 2023, to help catapult you to where you need to be on the next level. It's more of a, you know how like they used to call dope houses trap houses, right? And they call selling dope trapping because you're trapped. I don't care how much money you make in that shit. It's hard. It's almost like it's no way out once you're in it. And it's the same thing when it comes to this, it's almost no way out once you're in it because you're not. They can't work sometimes to keep getting this assistance, or they can't make over a certain amount of money. So if you ain't got a hellified saving system, where the fuck you gonna be there? You gonna look up 20 years from now and be in the same spot.
But a lot of them are, and you got a lot of these and this is another episode that we had as well on the side chick raising side chicks. These women are basically telling them like, yo, basically handing them down government assistance, telling them how to go and sign up for it, and like, yo, you can go into the home or go into a shelter, and then you get into a home. Like, it's just crazy and it's disgusting, man. So I agree with him. It's spot on. Go ahead.
They're not built to be the leaders. And once again, this goes back to the first thing he said. When you take that man out of the household, you lose your structure. You know, how she gonna help them get to this next level? Pretty much can't. That mother by herself is not a leader. You know, she's doing the best that she can, supposedly. At one point in time, maybe when these systems first came about, but at this point, bro, that lack of leadership is showing everywhere. And I don't know in one case of any culture do they ever look to the woman for leadership.
Right. 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 All right. Let's play this.
Pushback I get is, well, there are lots of things that are going on, systemic racism, poverty. Here's the problem. If you look at a young black male, age 10 to 43, that's young to me because I'm 71 years old. A young black man in that demo is 13.
Damn, that motherfucker don't look 71 though, bro.
Young black man, real young, 19 and under. The number one cause of preventable death is homicide, almost always at the hands of another young black male. Same demo for whites, number one cause of preventable death is unintentional deaths. That includes drug overdoses, automobile accidents, drownings. It's not until they get to number 4 that death is the cause. In America, 60% of the shootings, the robberies, and the homicides are committed by black people, often against other black people. Of the homicides in this country, half of them are black victims, almost all killed by other blacks.
60%. You hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro. And that's the part where we as men got to look at this shit like, yo, how can we fathom that? You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy, dog. 60. That's crazy, bro.
60%.
That goes back to, once again, that father not being in a household, them sons growing up with no discipline, and they out here living lawless, man. No, and like I said, the respect. There's no more respect because they didn't have these fathers to respect growing up. Now they look at the older men, somebody like him at 71, somebody at 60, 50. There's no respect there. Now, I remember growing up, even until like, this was maybe like my early 20s, I was very conscious of watching my language if there were older people around, just out of respect. I'm grown damn near too, but out of respect, I would watch my language. That does no longer exist. That no longer exists, bro.
Yeah.
And look, we was cool with an older person, even if we was like 18, 19, 20, 21. It was cool with an older person being around them and they being like, yo, watch your language. It wasn't no shit, I'm grown. I could do what the fuck I wouldn't. It was, because out of the due respect of them being elders, you lose that structure, that shit don't exist no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that violence rate that he just said, that black on black crime rate that he just said, that's why that number is so astronomical, bro. That is exactly why, man. And just because you got more fathers in the household, don't make our problems now go away, but it just increases the chances of us being able to decrease those numbers down to something more reasonable and more productive, man.
And that's all he's saying, because because I want to cover that. I just want to say that real quick because you brought up.
Do your thing. Cover that, bro.
I'm gonna be real quick. So just because like you said, just because you put the father back in the home, that doesn't mean that everything just wipes away. That's not what it means. But if you rather have a situation where you have a 2-parent household versus a single parent household, we already see what a single parent household does. The chances are better in a 2-parent household, which is a mother and a father. That's what we're saying. If we had to go based off of the statistics and the data and all that stuff, it's better that you be in a 2-parent household for that child. And that's what the important thing is. So it's not saying we'll get because you'll have some of these single mothers, they'll say, oh, well, just because you're from a 2-parent household, that doesn't mean things is gonna go away. It's not true. You know what I mean? Would you rather do things as a collective or would you rather do things as an individual? That's what you gotta ask yourself.
What's your man?
Yeah. All right, we good.
How do you explain that if it isn't for the absence of fathers? Are you prepared to say black people are just genetically inclined to commit more crime? I doubt it. And the go-to reaction often is poverty and systemic racism. Here's the problem. 1940, when there was blatant racism, this is before Brown versus Board of Education, before the Zoning Act, before KKK was still alive and well, 87% of blacks lived under the poverty line. Now it's about 14%. You can't blame it on poverty. You can't blame it on racism. It is the breakdown of the nuclear intact family, and neither side is talking about it. The left doesn't talk about it because they caused it with the welfare state, and our side does not talk about it because if you're white, you'll be accused of dissing single moms who are heroically raising these kids, or you'll be accused of being a racist, or if you're black, you'll be accused, as I was by the LA Times, of being the black face of white supremacy. Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, you know, if your statistics are right, what are the reasons that you think fathers aren't in the home?
As I said, it's because in the mid-60s, Lyndon Johnson launched what he called the War on Poverty. In Charlemagne, literally, they sent social workers door to door in the inner city. I remember this, advising women of the availability of welfare, provided there was no man in the house. It created.
Yeah, I was told the same thing by
same thing with whites.
my father. I was told the same thing by all the people I know that are his age right now. They frowned upon that too. They would rather suffer whatever they gotta suffer and bust their ass working than to participate in that government assistance back then, bro. I don't care how much it was barely making ends meet for them. Everybody I knew growing up that had two parents household, one of these motherfuckers was in Beverly Hills, bro. I was raised in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Very, very basically slow place, low cost of living place, man. And the motherfuckers would do without sometimes before they would go fuck with that government assistance. And it seemed like by the time I got older, that shit had almost became acceptable to be on government assistance or to cut a corner some type of way. It almost just became it was like a hustle, you know what I'm saying? For lazy people.
And the thing is, and he brought up an interesting point. He said, I forget the date, but he said like it was like 80% were below the poverty line.
87%.
Huh?
He said 87% to be exact.
Yeah, 80,
closer to 90. Yeah.
Were below the poverty line. And then now it's at a 14% below the poverty line. And it's like you're under worse conditions back then than you are now. So when you're saying systematic racism, like again, you had blatant racism back then.
Yeah, I think those numbers, man, just kind of tell you a lot about what's necessary to get to a better position. You know what I'm saying? And once again, that government assistance is a part of intentionally dividing the man and the woman, and that's the main thing that we got to see. I think the morale from that should be, and how I was raised was, y'all do it together. My mom and father had the type of mentality of we gonna do it together. If him working wasn't enough, my mama would do shit on the side, like babysit. You know what I'm saying? Just like shit like that. You know what I mean?
So what he's basically saying now, in a nutshell, so y'all won't. So you know, just in case we have some people that can't follow it, we're gonna make it simple for you. You don't need government assistance because only about 15% of the people actually should really qualify for that. You know what I mean? That's why. You had 87% that were below it. It should have been the majority of people that was doing it. Now you got less than 20%, and you're gravitating on to doing it. That should do it, but you shouldn't do it. And government assistance is not helping. It's only hurting, and especially the Black community.
Yeah, it's destroying the value of the relationship between the man and the woman. That's primarily what it's doing.
And you have people, and again, what he's saying, I wasn't born back then, but I heard it, you know what I mean? Because I know that my grandmother, she didn't take it, whereas her sister did take the government assistance. You know what I mean? She said she'll rather work for it. But at the end of the day, what he's saying is that there was a system in place that told these people, yo, you would be better off with government assistance. And these people, he didn't say men, he said they approached women. Did I hear that right? Or did you, or did I hear wrong?
Yeah, they were personally going to the households. They were personally going to the households during the daytime, campaigning to women who didn't have a man, and then ones who did have men for sure. And they were basically manipulating them into feeling like that would be a better situation.
When in actuality it's not. It just made them lazy. And it just
Well,
made
he
them
says,
complacent.
yeah, he says he don't think the initial intention was to do that, which I personally disagree with. I think from the beginning, this was systematically a strategy. I just think it worked 20 times better than they could have possibly imagined. But I do believe this was a strategy to try to destroy the family structure. Nothing else was working in the time periods they're talking about implementing this shit. You're talking about around the same time periods as civil rights movement, Malcolm X, even MLK's movement at that time. The Fruit of Islam had a very big impact on our community at that time, especially for guys that were in and out of the prison systems. You had the Black Panther movement around that same time. So you had a lot of things that were almost family oriented and family based. The only thing you could do is start destroying the family structure. And once you destroy the family structure, then you can slow down or start to implement destruction into the minds of the youth. And that shit started taking effect in my era. Like, you gotta think gangster rap and all that shit hit in my era. Rap was on some positive political shit before the emergence of NWA, not blaming them for anything, because of course that gang culture was going out here way before the 90s, so they were just expressing what they were seeing and what they were raised around. But we had never heard nothing like that when it comes to music. So now you got the minds of the youth thinking destructively or starting to practice to listen to destructive music, and by the time you get to 2001, you don't hear about a motherfucker not talking about shooting a motherfucker no more, bro.
Right.
So you see how when you destroy the structure of something, then it's easy to break everything else you built on top of that. So we haven't done any building since these type of assistance programs came in. But guess what we have lost? All the things that we had built on top of that prior to the beginning of this government assistance. We don't got no more Black Panther parties like that prevalent in our communities. FOI is probably the weakest it's ever been in our community. It's just a structure. This is beginning. You haven't had a revolutionary with even the passion of a Malcolm X ever since. You know what I'm saying? Like, our structure's gone.
Right.
And our youth are corrupted.
Definitely.
In 1965, 8% of whites entered the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. Now it's about 25%, also up threefold. Look at census data, 1910, 1920, 1930, in places like Milwaukee, Chicago, Philadelphia. A young Black kid was slightly more likely to be brought into a world with a father in the home married to the mother than a young white kid. We have incentivized this kind of bad behavior, and it's had a disproportionately bad effect on the Black community.
Let me ask a question. Where did it come from, Mario?
What do you mean? What do white people do? I'm not worried about white people. I'm worried about what
I pause right there, bro. See that's so remember earlier I told you why it was so hard for me to make it through this whole video. It's because it is like little subtle things that the Breakfast Club is saying and doing. Well, what did white people do? For one, if we really want to get it down to if we really want to get down to the truth about this shit, you know damn well you can't do it on your syndicate. So it's really like you're not genuinely asking them that question. What do white people do? Because you don't want to cover that. Breakfast Club is a hey, white people pay for your shit, bro. So you don't want that smoke. So I don't believe that's a genuine question. I believe that is a question to try to deflect him and to get him to say something that he's not saying. It's like a bait move almost. I hate that shit, bro. Like, what the fuck you mean? We don't care what white people have done prior to this. We got to do something ourselves right now to make a change amongst us.
Right. And I mean, he answered it. He said, yo, I don't care what white people, I'm not looking into that. If I'm trying to figure out what the problem is and come up with solutions, we have to dig in for ourselves. We have to take some accountability for ourselves. What he's doing is saying, oh, we don't have no problems. It's all on the white man, blah, 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 and deflecting, like you said.
It's all on the system.
Yeah, that's weak-minded at the end of the day. And I'm like, we've dealt with a lot of that whole deflection thing. You be on a topic and then they bring up something else. And it's like, but that has nothing to do with what we was talking about. Like, you know, like, yo, IV, what's your zodiac sign? That's why you act like that. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Is that what you read today on your Instagram horoscope, you goofy motherfucker? What are you talking about?
Yeah. What? Yeah. What did white people do? Like you said, they don't want that, because again, when we was putting numbers up on the board, they wasn't saying none of that. You know what I mean? When we was lighting them up.
They terminated it, so we know that there's a form of control. So when people do shit like him, and you're not willing to risk it all, and you really mean that, like, why are you bringing them up if you really don't want him to go there? What if he'd have broke down it? Now you're putting him in a position to where now they looking at him like, oh, this is somebody we may have to watch out for. So it's like a bait move or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you really don't want that answer on your show. You don't.
Right. And yo, it's not like it's their own show. They're ran by iHeartMedia.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're a syndicate. They're a syndicate. So yeah, that's why I said they pay you. You don't want that smoke on your show. You don't want that, Charlamagne. So that's a disingenuous question, bro.
Great point, Ivy.
No, I don't say there is. You say there is. I don't believe that.
Oh, you don't believe this?
No, there used to be, obviously. Tell me what you think the number one systemic example of systemic racism is in America.
Oh man, it's so.
Just give me the most important one you think.
At the top of mind, I'll probably maybe mass incarceration. Maybe.
Really? During the Great Depression, when 50% of Black adults were unemployed, you didn't have this kind of mass incarceration. It's the breakdown of the family.
I'm not going to. I agree with the family part. I'm a Black man who is a father to his children.
I don't agree with the incarceration thing, though. I don't because I don't agree with the incarceration thing. His point on that, because back then you didn't have a huge jail system, so prison became a huge business around that industrial time, around the 70s and 80s, where there's a lot of industrial work going on, and motherfuckers had money to buy drugs. The cost of living was still low. Bro, when I got my license in 1996, bro, gas was 96 cents a gallon. I'm paying $5.60 right now, bro, for a gallon of gas. It was 96 cents back then. So motherfuckers did have a couple extra dollars to do extracurricular activities, and they worked hard as fuck all week long, and they partied on the weekend. Once they started realizing the money in running prison systems and getting free labor again, that prison system started to grow around the 70s and 80s. And then there started becoming a lot of private prisons. And then became what I would say a systematic move to create minds that think about taking life-risking chances in these streets. And I think that influence came from entertainment, predominantly movies and music. And that's when the prison industry grew. I don't think it was necessarily anything that directly took place other than the family structure being broken that could have stopped that from happening. That was a plan because it became big business. So, you know, that's why you see so much murder and crime on TV right now, man, because they got a place for your ass.
Right. I think that it was, and I do agree with you. I don't think that. I mean, no, I don't think. I think that it was a plan towards blacks. I think it was, but I think that what he's trying to say, in my opinion, is like, yo, we have to start waking up and start having our own mind instead of being controlled. That's what I think. I think that we have to start being more free thinking. We're told like we should go Democrat. You know what I mean? Because Democrat, again, I'm not into who you should choose, Republican, Democrat, whatever the case may be. I don't care. You know what I mean? But in my opinion, I feel like the Democratic Party enables the people, and they have a lot more government assistance related things. You know what I mean? So they tend to make black people go towards Democrat, more of an assistance, enabling type of structure. I think that that's all systematic, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So
I believe that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are just two different wings on the same bird. I don't believe in the government structure at all as it is. It needs to be destroyed. And we need to bring up a new government out of the destruction of the one that's here. I think everything needs to be a reset. Especially as far as the lawmaking and the government officials that we're going to have to enforce the laws of this country. I think everybody who's a part of this system, as of right now, are descendants of people who were already in the system, who were already corrupted from back then. And then we just have generations of corrupted people who were born into the same structure and keep continuing traditional policies. So I don't believe in none of this government being right. And of course, the system played a huge role in the racist role, but our system hasn't changed since the first time they were talking about actually abolishing slavery. We haven't changed the system since then. So it's outdated, bro. There's nothing correct about it in this modern day. It has to be reconstructed for it to even be something to believe in again. Other than that, fuck the Republicans and the Democrats. They both from the same corrupt ass bird.
Okay.
That part, you know. But I just feel like everything is black. But black is wrong. Black people do this and black people do that. And when I ask you what white people do wrong, says you're not worried about white people at all.
I'm talking about the damage, disproportionate damage going on in the black community. For example, look at these smash and grabs that are taking place in Los Angeles, where I live. There's a suburb called Glendale, where at a mall recently, a mob of 30 to 40 people, they had masks on, but one guy got popped. He was black. I think most of those who were doing this were black. And in recent years and times, there have been a number of these in places like Chicago, places like New York. If I were involved in something like that, Charlemagne, I grew up with a dad, just as you're raising your own children. I would have been more afraid of my father than I would about the cops catching. These kids are afraid of neither. They don't have.
That's a fact.
Cops are more.
You said that earlier. You said that earlier, huh?
Yeah, hey man, I always feared my father more than the law. Growing up, I definitely feared him more than the law. That's for sure.
Yeah, we got a little bit longer. Then I want to play a part of like a little bit towards the end, because Charlemagne asked him a question that I felt like this dude put the nail in the coffin for Charlemagne.
Let's get to that then. Let's get to that part.
Let's get to that. All right, cool.
Cause I don't want to hear nothing that witchcraft witch on there got to say.
So
they're not undermining a republic. They're complaining about an election. You have a right to do so.
I know you probably got to go. Have you ever heard of the term "nigga wake up call"?
No.
It is an what do you say?
The color forgets.
Have you ever heard of the term called a nigga wake up call? This is what he's asking him. So here his response. So Charlemagne is reading the definition of
what's up with dude, bro? Charlemagne is a basket case.
Wait a second. Wait a second, Ivy. Come on, man. Hold on. This is what he asked him. And so now Charlemagne's reading the definition that he looked up.
They are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever
well, I'm acutely aware, Charlemagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not going to say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. I mean, I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say...
Well, you just not talk about a nigga wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part, to have a white guy come in here, who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney, because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden had lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black and let you think a certain kind of way. It seemed to me that should have been a nigga wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
I mean, for the record, I'm not a Democrat or Republican.
I didn't say you were.
Yeah, I think both.
I don't know what you are. I never even asked you about your party affiliation. Yeah, I'm just saying, but you are black. And to have a white guy come in here and tell you have to think a certain kind of way, otherwise you, quote, ain't black? Wow.
How should I have replied to him, you think?
I just now said, how dare you insult me and tell me I think as a human being, let alone as a black person? I don't tell you how to think, Joe Biden. How dare you come in here and tell me how I should think? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump if I want to vote for Donald Trump. And if I want to vote for Donald Trump, it does not make me not black. 20% of black people, black men, as I said, voted for Donald Trump in 2020. Are they not black now? So only 80% of black men walking around are really black, 20% are not because they voted for Donald Trump? How insulting is that? How condescending is that?
I mean, you're probably right, but I didn't think it that way.
Well,
guilty, headshot, bang, bang.
Yo, he murdered him. He murdered him, man.
Damn, that was a headshot, man.
That ether, that stuff that make your soul burn slow. Dang.
You only know that. You only know that because you only know that bar because the rapper's from the East Coast.
Come on, man. All right. But yo, this man asked him, yo, did he ever heard of the term nigga wake up call? And this man's response was, yeah, yo, the same nigga wake up call you got when Joe Biden came on the show and said that you're not really black because you don't vote a certain way. I remember that episode. I know you had to remember that.
I don't fuck with these guys, but
I know you had to remember that when him and Hillary both came on the show, Joe Biden and Hillary, back in like 2020.
Yeah, I definitely probably didn't watch that.
Oh man. But yeah, yo, he definitely did say that. He was like, yo, you're not even black. And yo, he had no response. But you got another man that's on here, that's another black man that's on here and has not insulted you, disrespected you in any type of way. But this whole interview, you've been disrespecting him and you've been asking him questions to try to get him out of character and pick on him. But a man blatantly told you you're not black if you vote Democrat, and you said nothing. That should have been a nigga wake up call right there.
Yeah, he reversed that on him very well, bro.
And yo, Charlemagne's best answer was, I didn't look at it that way. Or how should I have responded? A white man came in here and said you weren't black if you didn't vote for him.
How can a man who's gonna ask another man if he's heard of a nigga wake up call, how he should have responded? Here's the wake up call for you. Instead of asking another nigga, has he heard of a wake up call, you should be that nigga that they got a picture of in the book. When it says nigga wake up call, that should be you right there, bro. Because you're not woke at all. You just, like I told you, bro, to me, they just have the energy of being argumentative on here. They're not trying to reach any points, and they're not doing a good job of bringing out what these people are trying to express so they can become more transparent to them, which is supposed to be their connection for us.
Right.
They're not that, bro. That's the wake up call. He should have been and had. He killed him, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. He killed him, bro. He killed Charlemagne. He deserved that, bro. Quit talking so much shit like you ain't out here doing all type of foolery, fam.
Yo, and this is the thing. You got a network called the Black Effect channel or whatever it's called. But yet you're giving your own black man the hardest time. And a white man came in and insulted you and said you were not black if you don't vote for him. But yet you're over here this whole interview asking him, yo, what have the white people done? You're talking about this systematic racism, but you let a white man blatantly come in your face and say to you that you're not black. I don't know if that's the most blatant sign of disrespect, and you did nothing.
And that's what I mean too about structure again, family structure, just that ability to be able to respect your elders. There's no way 20 years ago, I don't care if we was going to vote for this black candidate or not, or we liked him or we didn't, you wouldn't see black people who have their own show disrespected any black dude running for offices of any kind. Now you see how the disrespect and the lack of respect is here now and what we see in today's modern times, bro. He has absolutely no... That man's 71 years old, man. He can tell you a lot about life in that time period, bro. You've seen a lot of life if you've been here 71 years old. And it's not like he's an old 71-year-old. He can't move, can't think. The motherfucker sharp as I didn't even think he was 71. I thought he was like maybe late 50s. He still got a full set of hair, bro. But that's disrespect to what you would consider OGs, bro. These niggas are weak, man. I gotta be 100, bro.
Right.
Maybe we can fuck, man.
And we have media platforms like this that are reaching millions and millions of people each day, right? And you got a presidential candidate that want to make a difference in the black community. And he just wants to be able to voice his viewpoints. He's not saying, I mean, of course he wants you to vote for him, but give him that fair chance. He didn't come in here, he didn't insult you, he didn't call you out your name, he didn't say any of that. He didn't even ask your position as far as which way you go. Republican,
Right.
Democrat, whatever the case may be. He just wants to bring awareness, kind of like what we do on Plug Talk. It's not, again, you could choose to listen to us, you could choose not to listen to us. But at the end of the day, all we're doing is just making you guys aware. And we want the people, our audience, to realize, like, yo, you got platforms like this that we're listening to, and we're giving them viewership and we're giving them ratings each day. But we're giving them ratings for what? Because it's the cool thing to do. Like, we gotta be a little bit more smarter when it comes to things like that, and especially when we have a presidential candidate. This is a candidate. You know what I mean? You got to give him some sort of respect. You don't have to vote for him, but vote for him based off of what you believe, not what somebody's telling you to believe. And give him a fair chance. He wouldn't have did that to Hillary Clinton. He wouldn't have did that to Joe Biden. He wouldn't have did it. He wouldn't have did that to him. But he did that. They did it to two presidential candidates. And they've had more presidential candidates on there. But they never did that. They didn't do it. They didn't do it to Obama. You know
Everybody was happy for Obama for some reason, bro, but I don't know, man. This is a bad look for them as far as the Breakfast Club go. For this guy right here, I like him. I like what he's trying to get us as a culture to focus on and think about and start having the conversation about. I'm all for him. You know, both of us feel that way because we've talked about some of the same topics that he's brought up. Matter of fact, we have to do that documentary, bro. We got to cover that, bro, because that fits right into that single parent household demographic he spoke on at the beginning. So we got to get into that, bro. But I like him. I like the last guy that we covered as far as presidential candidates. They're kind of looking like the new age politicians. And they sound more genuine than 99% of the politicians we had to this point. I will be following them to see what type of progress they're making between here and now when, you know, the actual running for office is going to take place. But I have nothing against this guy, man. But shame on y'all, Breakfast Club. Y'all are the donkey of the day, for sure. For sure.
And so what I'll say to this, I mean, major platforms, don't try to come in here and like try to argue with the presidential candidates. Let them say their viewpoints and let the people decide when it's time to vote and go to the ballots. Let's make that happen because there may be something that they're saying that we need to hear as a people.
Yeah.
Let's not be selfish. You know what I mean? And Breakfast Club, I know we skipped through that part entirely. Breakfast Club, stop inviting that chick on here, man. Stop it. You know what I mean? She is coming on there just arguing. She's not asking no valid questions. She's just trying to stir up controversy. We know she's on the Black Effect channel with you, Charlamagne. We know all of that. You know what I mean? So stop it. Stop bringing that chick on here, man. She's not being...
Fuck them. Let them keep doing what they doing because y'all making it very easy to see that y'all support an agenda. Fuck y'all, man. Fuck them. Fuck all of them need to sink on the Titanic. Let them drop. Don't kick the bitch off the boat. Nah, let her stay there so she can die with them.
Figuratively, not literally. Figuratively.
Allegedly.
Figuratively.
Yo,
but just to give like and he went into some other things. He talked about abortion. He talked about how he felt like Donald Trump didn't get a fair shake within him being indicted.
Nah, he
And
didn't. He didn't. He didn't. I'm just being honest, bro. Like I've seen everybody else from George Bush in his role in 9/11 to Biden and his son getting caught with all the child pornography in their computers, and they allowing that shit to be erased and disappear. Same thing with Hillary. You know what I mean? Like we've seen high level politicians get smacked on the wrist for some of the most horrible things, bro.
he
And
touched
it doesn't seem, yeah,
he he
yeah, it
he
don't
touched
seem that
upon it.
dude is getting the same type of shit. I'm gonna also say this as far as media go. Man, yo, David Duke was the head of the Klans. I've never seen a media channel ever talk bad about it. I've seen them just try to destroy this man. They convinced black people he was racist to us. They didn't do a damn thing wrong to us. I seen all you motherfuckers walking around here with PPE loans and fucking unemployment for a fucking year and a half, bro.
Right.
During that time that man was in office, man, y'all gotta, like Demon Rachi said, man, learn how to think for yourselves again, man. Especially don't look at these syndicates that have agendas as your information source, because they don't do a good job of pulling out real information. It seems to me they do a great job in causing distractions. That's all I got to say about this one, Pep.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, we're free thinking. We have the ability to choose and make our own choices in life, man. Let's use that right to do that. All right, so we good off of this, right?
Hell yeah, you know my slogan. You know my slogan. You ain't got to go home. But you got to get the fuck out of here. Like, comment, subscribe. Plug Talk 4, baby.